Hey again, and welcome back to a second day where we're talking about how to shift and move things. Yesterday I was down the beach. I've had so many people message me in the last 3 days saying how uncomfortable they are feeling, how they are feeling stuck, how they're actually even describing to me where this energy is being stuck in their body. Yesterday I was down the beach. It was quite funny. I walked across the main road in my dress and walked down the beach with my heels on my hands and walked straight into the beach and straight into the water, because the first thing that, well, I shouldn't say that's the first thing. The first thing I did was drive in my car. I started really vocalizing things and yelling. So I was trying to shift my energy in my body. So that was the first step. So people ask me, what are you doing? How are you doing this? Second thing was I needed to get grounded. So I needed to take off my shoes. Walking is great. It's great for your health, but it is not shifting and grounding you and grounding your energy. You need to take your shoes off. You need to put your feet on the earth. The fastest way to ground yourself if you're near a beach is to get into the ocean. Pop your feet into the sand. Pop your feet into the water is even quicker. Put it onto the ground. Put it onto the earth in any way, shape or form, whether it's dirt, grass, sand, doesn't matter. If it is cold where you are, leave your socks on. Again, that doesn't matter. It's removing the rubber. But what I want to talk to you about is different questions. So I will yell and scream. I will, because most of us are stuck in our head. And when you're in your head, you're dead. All right, so remember that every time you're stuck in your head and you have a story, and this is the common thing that's coming around right now, is people saying, I'm feeling really hurt, and I'm feeling all of this emotional pain that's in my body, and they're having this story. It's going round and round like a washing machine, and they don't know what to do with it. Okay, so firstly, when you're in your head, I always say you're dead. So identify this. Identify where in your body that you're actually feeling this pain, this emotional pain. Because right now, energies are very, very strong, and depending again on what your chart looks like. So when I do human design reading, I'm looking at your chart and looking at which areas are open, and that is going to tell me, and what's activated is going to tell me how you feel things. So whether you're consistently feeling certain energies or whether it's inconsistent. And there's a lot of people out there that are emotional empaths, so it's coming from the outside in, so it's very inconsistent. So everything gets amplified when it's literally when you have an open solar plexus emotional energy. But don't worry about any of that stuff right now, because we can get down to the nitty gritty. But I want you guys to think about different questions that you can ask yourself when you're feeling really hurt and feeling really stuck. All right, and you've got this thing that's going round and round and round. So if you're feeling it up here and you're in your head, all right, which most of us, and when I say most, 70% of the time you're going to be in here, it's going to be running your show. You need to ask the question, am I thinking about things that don't matter? And you need to be honest with yourself when you're asking these questions, okay? Because the reality is we lie to ourselves. And when you're lying to yourself, you keep yourself in this cycle of shit and feeling uncomfortable. How much pain do you really want to feel? Do you want to feel the pain? Do you like being a victim? Do you like your victim story? Are you someone that is constantly pointing the finger and saying, that person made me feel this way, this situation made me feel this and this and this and this? If you are doing any of this, please listen. Please start doing these things, because you're staying in a victim mode. And more than likely, your victim or your saboteur or your child is running your show. Not healthy, doesn't help you move, it helps you stay uncomfortable. So, question up here, if you're in your head, am I thinking about things that don't matter? Question number 2, so we've done in your head's dead. Question number 2, if it's around here, which we call the third eye of the ajna area, right? Where a lot of people think is where their ideas and stuff are coming from anyway. Are you pretending to be certain? Are you trying to convince other people that you are certain about something in particular? Third area that we're going to talk about is the throat, okay? So with so many people, they use their throat to try and attract attention. So are you trying to attract attention? Are you feeling like this? Are you feeling choked in a way? Okay, so do you feel that it could be, do you feel you can't speak your words? Okay, so is the energy here? Is the energy, in the chest? So in the chest is also the heart area, okay? And this one's a big one when you feel it in the chest. And the question to ask yourself is, are you feeling unworthy and undervalued by somebody or people right now? This is a big one, okay? The head and the heart are two really big ones. So now we're going to go a little bit further down, and we want to ask, so I'm going to move here. So we've got two other questions when it starts to get lower, all right? So we've gone from here, and we're going to start moving lower, so under the boob area. We've got two areas. We have the solar plexus, and we've got what we call the spleen area. So these are the emotion. We've got the emotional centers is what we're looking at. So with that one, it could be, are you avoiding confrontation and truth? Okay, which a lot of you are doing. Or are you holding on to something that isn't good for you? Again, a very big one. So one of them is really talking about, your solar plexus is, avoiding confrontation and truth. And the spleen, which is where we care and we fear, okay, is when we're holding on to something that's not good for us, unhealthy, it's very unhealthy, okay? So we also have your sacral energy. So your sacral energy, so we're going down. That one is, do you know when enough is enough? Big one, big question to ask yourself. And then as we head down to the root center, it's, am I always in a hurry to feel free of pressure? So this is a whole bunch. Yeah, you can do lots of this. So these are a bunch of questions to ask. Now, obviously, if you know your chart and you know your open centers, you are going to have a specific amount of those questions that you need to be asking yourself all the time. So for those of you that have had your charts done and you've got the open centers, I would have given you questions to answer. So for me, I have 3 open areas. I have my head. Am I thinking about something that doesn't matter? I have my heart, am I feeling undervalued and unworthy? And I have my solar plexus, which is avoiding confrontation and truth. Now that one actually runs my show. And everybody goes, yeah, but you're a truth bomb, so why would that? And even for me, I had to sit on this for 2 weeks and go, that's the one that runs my show most of the time. And when I was honest with myself, now, please understand, honesty is truth and truth is love. Honesty is love. All of it is combined. And it's about loving yourself. So be honest with yourself to get to the truth, to give yourself some love. All right. So when I was honest with myself, I avoid confrontation and truth more with the people extremely close with me than anybody else. I don't know you, I've got no problems. But when it's someone's really close to me, I sit there going, well, please, I hope they work it out all on their own. Because I don't want to have to sit here and bitch slap you and tell you what's going on. So I found I was avoiding confrontation and truth. So here's a trick. You ask the questions. Okay, and for me, I ask my 3 questions. So I'm frustrated. I'm sitting there and I'm feeling frustrated, and I go, all right, am I thinking about something that doesn't matter? Am I feeling undervalued and unworthy? Am I avoiding confrontation and truth? I work out which one is it. It's always going to be one of them. Okay, and then let it go. Now, that is a process. Trust me, that works. So you say, oh, Mel, easy said than done about letting it go. This is about the fact that you have been completely conditioned. You are completely conditioned to be a victim and to have my poor me story. And so this is a process in deconditioning. So this takes time. And it might take you might have been sitting in this for a month or a week, and then you go, oh, it's this thing, right? And then it's going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. This, you got to keep doing it. This is muscle memory. All right. You'll get to a stage where you're in the middle of it and you're sitting there and you go, oh. Now, my process of what I do, so one, I go to shift my energy and ground myself. So I will use my balance drops, which are my liquid crystal drops. It really helps to balance it up because I go to work out, am I feeling my shit or someone else's shit? Then I go and I make sure I'm grounding myself again so I can eliminate that out of the process. Then if I'm feeling it in my body, I want to move my chi energy. So I'm going to do a couple of things. If you're at work, go to the toilets, put your arms above your head for a couple of minutes. It's going to move your energy. If you can't sit there and go somewhere to go and scream, again to shift your energy. The other one is I will bounce up and down and I will go, Doing the humming will move your energy. The other thing that I do, and the other process that I do, is I have an argument with myself out loud. Now, you ask me, why would you have an argument with yourself out loud? Because as you start doing this, okay, and if you ever saw a counselor, a good counselor ain't going to be giving you the answers, okay? That's, that doesn't work that way. It's about you talking out loud till you hear your bullshit and you pick yourself up. So have an argument out loud. So you're angry with somebody and you sit there and you start arguing out loud. Now, as I'm arguing out loud, I start picking myself up on my bullshit. So I'll sit there and I go, oh my God, you really pissed me off. You never do blah, blah, blah. And then I go, is that true? Do they actually never do it? No, they do. They do it sometimes. They don't never do it. Oh, they did blah, 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 blah. Or they made me feel this way. Well, hang on a minute. Did they actually make me feel this way? And this is what the process will happen when you start having an argument out loud. And I know with me and the way my design works, I'm like a pressure cooker. And it's like, this little volcano can erupt. So I like to have the argument with myself and I go until it is done. The argument will not be needed to have with that person because I've already sorted it out. Not only have I sorted out my own bullshit part of the story because I was too busy doing this, I'm also sitting there and I'm feeling my poor me, my victim shit. I'm not feeling loved enough. They did something to hurt me. Again, victim shit. They did this and that, victim shit. So I just scrap that. I go, fuck that shit. Let's argue it out till we realize that this is not correct. There are always two parties involved, energetically, whether you like it or not. Now, if you're feeling hurt in love, again, you're going, why isn't this person loving me? Why isn't it being reciprocated? Why am I not getting my needs met? Well, half the time it's because you haven't actually vocalized. Because if you're feeling this, you're not vocalizing what you need and desire. But you need to make sure that you articulate it because you need to know what it actually is. Someone can't be filling your cup up. You need to fill your own cup up. If you're sitting there and going, someone isn't giving me something, you need to understand that that's not what life is about. Life is not about somebody else giving you things. They're about coming into your life to enhance your life, not to fulfill your life. So if you're feeling hurt in love, I want you to see, where is it in the body? Where are you feeling it? Go back to those questions. Ask yourself that question for where it fits. And then I want you to have a verbal, out loud conversation until you run out of steam. So that Energizer Bunny. Keep going. This could take hours, by the way. Until the steam is gone. Okay? You do not have to feel this way. You do not have to sit in it. It's up to you on how long you feel hurt and you sit in your shit. Please understand, the deconditioning process is not overnight. Do not kick yourself for going back and playing rinse and repeat. But what I really want you guys to do is to recognize when you're playing rinse and repeat. Pick yourself up. Dust yourself off and then pat yourself on the back because you identified when you're playing rinse and repeat, and that's the beginning of the deconditioning process. If you guys want to know a lot more definitive about, what I'm talking about here and about your charts, feel free to message me. But guys, this is a lot easier than you think. I'm sending lots of love to all of you. It is really hot, so I'm going to go and close this blind now and put the aircon on and enjoy my day. Bye, everybody.